Good morning. Welcome to our show, Concussions Anonymous. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa from Imbalance Pilates.
And I'm Karen Monet from Opticom.
So, thanks for joining us on our show today. We're so happy to be back together. It's been a few weeks off with PD days and Easter. And I got to do something super cool and super fun. I just recently was on set on a feature film here in the Ottawa area and got to be a background performer.
A real movie star.
A real movie. So that was super awesome. I think everyone should do it once because it was pretty cool just to see just background of movie making and TV and film. It was super awesome.
The challenges and the joys of being
exactly challenges and the joys. And for me, from having had post concussion, what a marker to be able to go and do something for a whole day, to not have to worry if
3 days, not just one day.
Yep, and to not, to be able to go in with it, not worrying about was it going to bother me or whatnot. So just to be able to look back, something that I can do now that I certainly couldn't have done, 6-9 months ago.
It's a milestone.
It's like high five, right?
Yeah.
And you've got to cheer for yourself and high five yourself when you have those successes. Really take note of when things are getting better, right? Whether it's baby steps at the beginning or those bigger milestones. Really take the time to see how far you've come.
I think that's really important in business, which I think when you say milestones, I'm thinking about the business. Mm-hmm. But in your personal life, especially when you're challenged with something, often at the end, let's say 2 years later, you look back and you think, how did I get here? And am I where I wanted to be? Or am I further? Am I not as far? If you categorize or note those milestones down, you can look back and say, yes, I have had successes. I have reached different plateaus maybe, but in my concussion recovery, there have been things that have happened from plateau A to B to C. Even though I was on those plateaus for a while, now I'm at a new one. I'm at a different one. And I think that's really important for self-confidence and joy in how we are in this day, like in this state.
Definitely.
Good for you.
Yeah,
cheers.
Yeah, so it was awesome. And it's fun to do things that are out of your comfort zone and
social.
Yeah,
which you
social
don't do much of.
And if you're not able to tackle one area of things, well, okay, what things are you still good at? What things still feel easy and doable and
are rewarding?
And gravitate towards those things.
Give you joy.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I can't wait to see the movie.
Yeah, I know. We'll have a big watch party. So, yes, and then you're taking the stage this weekend.
Yes, I am.
Very exciting. Here in Ottawa.
Yeah, so the Healthy Brain and Body Show is on this weekend at the EY Center, which you spoke at last year.
Yes.
Another milestone.
Yes, such a milestone. And the one thing that we kind of discussed about that was last year I did speak on stage. It was amazing for Sarah to ask me to share my story. And at that point, I talked about how to be productive and positive through post-concussion. Little did I know that actually applying all those steps that I talked about really propelled me further down the healing journey. Okay. Awesome. But
practice what you preach.
Yes, and so last year when I spoke on stage, it was last spring. So I completely, from a public speaking standpoint, okay, maybe a C or whatnot, because I really did literally have to read. But it was because my memory at that point was really...
Your memory, I think, and your vision too, being able to look up and down from
look
something.
Up and down, take in a big room, take in the periphery of a big open space, all the movement. Totally different story. So yes, I read everything. But
you got your important message out.
Got my important message out. But again, it's another thing that I can look back and be like, okay, we were on this show with Sarah in December. I was able to...
It was so good. You just...
say everything. Yeah. There was no... I didn't have to read. So to go from last spring, April, having to read all of my points to fast forward December, being able to spew off anything that was on my mind, it shows you that you don't have to stay stuck like there is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep searching and
Yeah.
cheering for those baby steps and small wins and big wins.
And I think steps is a really good word, because it's not a straight up. You're going to have steps to get from A to Z. You're maybe at Q right now. You know, you're on your way.
Exactly.
But those plateaus are going to happen, and they are steps. So
they are.
Good. I'm very happy for you. That's good to
and
hear.
I'm even looking back, I think, to in terms of memory, and I'm sure people can relate to this, but you know, you're at the point where I would start a conversation with my husband, and let's say I would say, oh, I saw Julie today and she started her new job, and in the time it took for him to respond whatever about that situation, I would be thinking, oh goodness, who was I talking about? So, and I know people can relate to that much of a memory. You know, you're talking about one thing, you go, I mean, we've all experienced that.
It comes with stress and exhaustion and, you know, age as well. We all experience that forgetfulness, but to have it hit you like immediately because of the concussion, it's frustrating because it's not a gradual aging of the brain. It's sort of an immediate change.
So celebrate all those small wins, baby steps, everything. And so big show this weekend.
So I will be speaking. What I'm going to be speaking on is, I'm calling it visual ergonomics. Now,
I like that.
That came to me. I've been doing a lot of presentations on the visual environment. You've seen in some of our other shows, we've talked about pattern sensitivity and light sensitivity, and taking a look at the visual environment and how it might be triggering you. And I was explaining this to someone from Health Canada. We actually have a new device here. This medical device behind us here is a Class 1 medical device that we're using in our clinic. And I was talking to Health Canada and explaining what it is that we do. And he had a really hard time grasping it, because what we do is so unique. There's no other clinic like us in Canada. This is the first of this device in Canada. So classifying us as what type of business we are.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bringing that awareness and knowing that you're changing so many people's lives. And
well, we need to get categorized as something. And he, as I was describing, goes, are you this? Are you that? Are you this? He goes, hey, you sound like visual ergonomics. And I went, that makes so much sense. Because what we do is we help individuals interact with their environment, not the physical environment, which an ergonomist is normally your chair height, your armrest, your hands, your screen distance, all those things. That's the physical ergonomics. Whereas what we're doing is the visual ergonomics, the lighting, this, not just the screen distance, but the lighting of the screen. Is it too bright? Does it need to be filtered? All of those visual environment influences on your behavior, your health, at work, at school. So I took that word, I said visual ergonomics, that works great for me.
That reminds me, when I was on set last week, I have to tell a story. There was our concussion radar kind of goes off, and there was a couple people discussing their concussions. And so I kind of listened and joined the discussion. And anyways, this one student was saying how she, you know, has like this 98% average. She's excelling in all these ways. But when she tries to go to her art classroom, that one classroom, she can't take it. She's getting headaches. She's got her teachers not believing that one room is causing problems.
So a visual ergonomics assessment would look at the visual environment. What is it that's triggering that discomfort? Is it the artwork? Is it someone's got really high pattern, high contrast artwork on the walls? Or is it just because there's so much to see, which you can imagine would be in an art studio or even an art class or a classroom?
Definitely.
So that's...
And to further that, you know, there she is as a high school student, her last year of school, and, you know, did share about how basically the sadness and depression of there you have all your friends graduating, looking at university where they're moving to, and she doesn't have the right number of credits. So it's like, again, it puts the brakes on a lot. It puts the brakes on so many things, and as a young woman having to face, you know, all the extra pressures of and not being able to. So yes, that's why we continue to raise awareness, and that's why
concussion's anonymous, because so many people out there, they're anonymous. Their concussion is anonymous. People don't realize that they have it. They don't take accommodations for it.
Or they don't realize the things that they're saying no to and not being able to do anymore.
We want to raise awareness not only for the individuals to be aware of what's around them that could be triggering them and causing discomfort,
Mm-hmm.
but for those around people with
Yes,
concussion,
colleagues,
to
teachers,
understand
parents.
how the workplace is affecting people with concussions.
Mm-hmm.
This is a segue, but I want to talk about it. When I look at people, I saw a sign the other day and it said, "Remember, we are a scent-free environment." And I asked myself, how many people are actually sensitive to scents? What percentage of the population? Is it 5? Is it 50? I don't know what it is, but we have made worldwide accommodations for people with scent and scent sensitivities. Airlines, stores, schools, everywhere. No scents because people are scent intolerant. Okay, what about the visual? But that's one scent, okay, or one sense. Scent is a sense. But what about the visual sensitivities? Where are there accommodations for that? Where is that we are a stripe-free environment?
Right. Now there's certain stores, and we've talked about that before, that are starting to do
some grocery
low light
stores,
zones, or the
low light, low sound, low sensory, and that is really important. Not only for concussion, but for a lot of other neurological and neurodevelopmental issues like autism and attention deficit and stroke, all sorts of other neurological problems that become hypersensitive to all of these things. So, the Healthy Brain and Body Show, we are going to be there with all sorts of tools that can help reduce sensitivity to the visual stimuli in the environment. So I'm really excited. This is our 3rd year.
I really hope a lot of teachers get out to see you guys, and just, if they have specific students that are struggling, I'm sure they can ask you specifics.
Absolutely.
On,
teachers, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, anyone in the rehab field who's helping people rehabilitate from a concussion, but also in the education field, anyone who's helping people who are struggling with education issues. And this is a case often for people with concussion. There's a lot of relearning that needs to be done, and there's difficulty seeing words and reading. You've avoided it because it was difficult, and now trying to get back into it, and the technology at work and the software, it's really challenging. And so we have a lot of tools that can help with all of those sensitivities. So we'll have them there. Just to go off a list of a few of those things, right now we're sitting under fluorescent light. That is a real trigger. Natural light is a lot more comfortable. There are substitute options for fluorescent light, whether it's
like different bulbs or
different
covers.
A different lamp itself. You take out those fluorescent bulbs and you put in a special LED, not just tubes that you go buy at Lowe's, because those are going to be direct downward facing lights. You want indirect light. So there's a company actually in Ottawa who manufactures these locally and has a patent on part of the product that makes them so special. So because we're in that industry, we've partnered with them for that. Also, light bulbs that you can change the color of. So we have those on display. Computer monitors. We either have software for them to change the color of the monitor, or we have a completely different monitor that is not backlit, and it's just like paper. It's called e-ink, and it's all shades of gray instead of color. So I'll have those there. Of course, the colorimeter, which is our testing device to determine the wavelengths of light you're sensitive to. So just like sound or scent, what is the scent? What is the sound you're sensitive to? What is the light wavelength you're sensitive to? So we know what to filter. Like food intolerances. You're not tolerating this food, so avoid it. You're not tolerating this light wavelength, so avoid it. And we can help you figure out how to avoid that spectrum of light, whether it's through filters or lighting. Then the simple things like colored paper and pens and those sorts of smaller, immediate use, inexpensive.
But that could give so much relief for someone.
Absolutely.
That,
if you can't look at your shopping list because you're using, for some reason, still that yellow sticky note with the blue lines on it, and you just take it and you're like, I always have a hard time. Look at sticky note pad and maybe go to, if blue's your color or green or red even, use that color instead. So these are the types of things that we do in our consultations, is help people understand what's the root cause of this problem. It's a trigger. How do we change that trigger? We can alter it, we can remove it, we can make a few changes to it and modify it, but we'll help you figure out what it is that's triggering you and then what tools you have to change it. So one more thing, we're also now an authorized reseller for Enchroma, which is another neurological visual technology using filters. And that helps people who are color deficient, red, green, color deficient, to see more definition in the colors they do see. So again, it's a technology. It's a lens technology, which is like serum and our colorimeter lenses, and that technology affects vision and neurologic work of vision, of color vision. So yeah, so we'll have all that there.
So all of you there.
Yes.
That'll be great. People will be able to get some information and
looking forward to it. So Sarah will be there from our office.
Okay.
Alana's our optician, but she's away this weekend, so we won't have her there with us. And then I've got some family members that I'm bringing in to help man the. We're going to be doing visual stress assessments on site and the color vision lens testing on site.
Okay.
So I think that's it for the show. What I'd like to do is just introduce that I will be highlighting each one of these different products on separate videos because they do deserve a lot more attention and explanation, because you look at it and you think, what? A lot of people go, this doesn't seem real. It is. Let me share that with you. It is real. So So really excited about the weekend.
Yeah, and you said it's at the EY Center.
Yes,
both
it is.
Saturday and Sunday.
10 to 5 on Saturday, 10 to 4 on Sunday. My presentation is at 1:30 on Sunday.
Okay. So that's great. And remember, on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel. That would be amazing.
We'll also be posting on Facebook.
Yes, we'll have this on Facebook as well. And definitely feel free to go to our websites and sign up to our newsletter. So I'm at imbalancepilates.ca. I always have some challenges going on with Pilates and meditation. So we know how important meditation is and posture and stability. So we have that ongoing. And then you've got your website.
Our website is Opticalm, OPTICALM, like a calm brain, .ca. So opticalm.ca. And there's a lot of information there on the condition and how it's neurological, and the different types of tools and things that we have to help. So we don't have a newsletter yet. We're going to be starting that up probably over the summer if I get a student that can help me with my social media and getting all. I've got so much content. I just need somebody to help me get it out there.
Yes, getting that strategic plan for getting it all done. Yes, for sure. And so go to our websites and definitely you can sign up there. And I was going to say, if you know anyone that has post-concussion or concussion, definitely share this out. Just trying to get out the information, get the channel out, so definitely share it out. That would be awesome. And definitely say hi to Karen if you make it up to the show this weekend. And we're excited to see Sarah and Roger at the show. Thanks so much for bringing the Healthy Brain and Body Show to Ottawa. So awesome.
So many great people going to be there. Like just looking at who's around us. The Salt Spa, Exhelio, reflexology, occupational therapy, massage. So many different specialists that can help with rehabilitation.
No, it's awesome. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a really great weekend.
It was nice to be back. And we'll see you again real soon.
Back together, and we'll be together soon. So have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.